Well, hello there and welcome back. My name is Stephanie Safarian, and you are listening to episode 203 of the Sustainable Minimalist podcast, a weekly show about intentional and eco-minimalist living. Today, we're discussing aging, and in particular, we are discussing something that I definitely need to talk about, which is graying. We are discussing what is so concerning from a health standpoint about hair dye. And we're also talking about whether there are safer alternatives to the salon and the color in a box. We're also discussing how it's possible to go gray with pride and joy in 2021. So I'm bringing all these questions and more to my guest today. Megan Mikkelson is the host of Toxin Free Talk, a weekly podcast about toxin-free living. And if Megan's name rings a bell, it should. And that's because Megan was on the show just a few weeks back, episode 194 to be exact. And we talked all about intentional nail care. And I should say, oh my goodness, Megan, that episode was very well received. I got so much positive feedback from that. So I'm so excited to talk to you again. How are you? Oh my gosh, I think about it 25 times a day. So, just really quick for anybody who missed the intentional nail care episode, tell us who you are, what you do, and how you found yourself so passionate about toxin free living. Well, I want to just say to everybody listening that I am obsessed with your Instagram channel and the reels you're doing. I'm learning so much. The Miss Myers one got me. Recently, you did a Cetaphil one. I used Cetaphil for years because it was marketed to me as the the clean facial cleanser alternative to everything else. Well, who knew it's not so clean? So anybody who wants to follow somebody who's doing some great things on Instagram, what is your Instagram handle? Perfect. I'll add it to the show notes. So, so today we're talking about the gray hair conundrum. And I think it's always really important to start a podcast episode with the why. So, why should we be looking at our hair dye or our hair dyeing habit, I should say, through critical lens? Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned your gorgeous hair because I am looking at you and it is so perfectly styled and so perfectly blonde in front. And so I'm like, are those God given locks or what's going on there? But you bring up a good point, which is that for me and for a lot of my listeners who are listening right now, they're not necessarily interested in throwing in the towel on their conventional beauty care regimens, right? They just want a safer alternative. And so thank you for bringing that up. I should say here, I have not dyed my hair since my first daughter was born 7 years ago. And, we're on video right now, so you can check that out yourself if you'd like. Uh, but it wasn't due to the potential health and safety effects. That was due to the fact that I simply didn't have 2 to 3 hours to sit in a salon. Um, Yet now, here we are 7 years later, and the grays around the temple are really, uh, I'm plucking them as fast as I can, and they're coming in faster. So that brings me to my first big question today for those of us listening who want to do something. We're not yet ready to go gray boldly. Are there safer options out there? And if so, what are they?
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for all of those options. I am going to ask you so many questions about each and every one of them. Let's go back to henna because when I typed in safe but effective graying solutions or something along those lines into Google, the henna option was the first one that came up. And so I've actually done a good amount of research on henna. It sounds like exactly what you said. It can be really good for your hair and good for everything going on on the top part of your body. But what threw me off from the henna was I don't necessarily want to have red hair. I am a brunette, and that's just how it goes. And number two is it sounds like it takes a lot of time. For my hair color, it would be a two-step process, both steps of which are hours long. And I said earlier that going to the salon for 2 hours is just not, it's just not feasible for me right now. So I'm not sure that dyeing my own hair for 2 hours, two separate times, is feasible. Can you speak on any of that? I know you don't use henna, but mm, I'm sorry, I have to pause you. We're being interrupted. Come on in, sweet pea. Do you want to say hello? Mama. What? Yes. Yes. Well, that is video in a nutshell there. That was my daughter asking if she can watch another show. So I'm just going to have you back up. You said the mess with henna. Go ahead. I don't know how to put it on. Okay. No, I'm so sorry.
This is like such a. Can you? Is it just not coming on? Yeah, but I can't come up right now, honey. Okay, so then go color. Can you go color? All right, I'm sorry. Can you hold on 1 second? I'm so sorry. Oh, Lord. All right, let's go quickly. Come on. Oh my gosh. So sorry. I'm going to have to figure out how to edit that from the video. All right. So, third time's a charm, the mess problem with henna. Yeah. So it's a home, do it at home from a box almost type of thing. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Well, just back to henna for 1 second. I should say to anybody listening who is like us, they've gone on the internet, they went down the anti-gray rabbit hole. They think henna is a great choice for them. Like, don't let don't let Megan and I dissuade you. I would say if you are ready and willing to try henna, first of all, let me know how it goes. But second of all, make sure you buy a reputable product, true henna. It seems like there's a lot of knockoffs on the internet. Would you agree with that? Okay. Okay, so then you mentioned a couple products that you can have done at the salon. Can you walk me through one more time how you can find a salon that offers those less harmful products? Mm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. And I should say that, you opened my eyes to something that I never even considered when we talked a few weeks back with regard to nail care. And it's that there are salons who are happily using less toxic products. I had no idea. You had mentioned Dazzle Dry for the nails. When I went to the Dazzle Dry website and typed my zip code into their Dazzle Dry accepted nail salon finder, I was shocked to know that 30 salons near me within driving distance that I would feasibly drive to, 30 nail salons use Dazzle Dry near me. And so I think that a tide might be turning as we talk about women's beauty regimens, professional beauty regimens. There is a market for the less toxic or even non-toxic things. And, you know, your hairstylist is almost a friend in some regards. You're sitting in that chair for anywhere from 30 minutes to up to 2 hours. Nobody wants to change, right? But I'm just saying this to say that there are other options available if your stylist is not willing to change with you. Would you agree with that? Mm, yeah. Hmm. So that brings me to part three of this conversation, I would say, which which deals with, I would say, going gray gracefully. It's been something on my mind. I see women going gray and rocking it. They're absolutely killing it. And I want to be like them, but I just don't know if in my soul I am them. So I'm wondering whether, first of all, if you have any words of encouragement for me as I'm teeter tottering on that line, as well as any tips for anybody who has already decided they're going gray and they're going to do it gracefully. Do you have any thoughts or words of wisdom there? It definitely makes sense. And I think that your entire answer there really speaks to an important point, which is we all are empowered to make the decision that's right for us. The key here, though, this is an intentional living show, is to decide uh, whether, let's just say we're talking about hair dyeing, whether hair dyeing is for you because you feel in your soul and gut that that's the right choice for you, versus whether just unintentionally doing it because that's what you see on TV and that's what society tells you you're supposed to do. I'm thinking back to when I was about 13 or 14. Um, I was a very unaware 13 or 14-year-old. like like I was not I was a book nerd. I really was. And somebody in my family, an adult who also happens to be a hairstylist at a holiday, made a comment and said that I had mousy brown hair. And oh, you should dye that. She said it maybe in a slightly nicer way than that I'm saying. But that was the take home message. That's what I heard. And so from age 13 or 14, once I convinced my mom to let me highlight my hair, from that age to age 30, when I had my first daughter, I dyed my hair. Sometimes I didn't because I didn't have the money, like college age. But for the most part, for those 17 years, I dyed my hair simply because I believed that that's what I was supposed to do to be attractive or be noticed or not have mousy brown hair or whatever it is. And so, getting back to my original point, it's that um, intentionality means that we're making choices for us. Choices aren't being forced upon us, if that makes any sense to anybody. Yeah. So that's not me personally, like doing the makeup and feeling good about myself, but I hear you, if that makes sense. Like I I applaud and respect you for making that choice. Megan, this conversation was so lovely. And for anybody who wants to listen to your podcast or follow your business, where can they do that? Well, thank you so much. But I will give the credit back to my listeners. They keep me accountable and they are so ready for the philosophical. Thank you so much, Megan. You're going to have to come on a third time. We'll talk about it offline. Take care.